Good Sunday evening, YouTubers. A quick update on my layout extension. I've had a few videos and posts talking about this. Those of you who watch my channel, you're familiar with the main layout, which is Province and Worcester, and the extension is CSX and Conrail. So at this end, we've got the new facility, which is United Steel, which is actually meant to represent, or at least proto-freelance represent United Steel, which is a manufacturing plant in East Hartford. And if you look out in the distance, you see Hartford, Connecticut. So this would be on the east side of the Connecticut River. So inside that building, I've got some lighting, subtle lighting. And there's some photographs of inside a manufacturing plant. So you can see that through the main entry, and then through the windows, there's a couple of blocked out windows, as you see in a scrappy facility. I weathered it up a bit. All the track is done. I've inserted ties where I had pieces of track come together, and I've wired the whole thing up. Since it is DCC, I have to meticulously wire pretty much every turnout and every separate piece of track to the bus. So you see a lot of wires under there. It took me pretty much all day to get all that wired up. I like to have every turnout wired so that there are four wires going to the bus. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then any individual track between the turnouts like this, I'll have two leads, because I don't like to solder the tracks onto the turnout because I have to ever remove a turnout. So what do we have on the new extension? We've got the scrapyard. I've got a couple of vehicles. I've got one more that I'm waiting for, which is a dumpster. It will be bringing in scrap off that dirt road there. I'll do, using joint compound or some filler, I'll put earth over the track there so it looks buried, and then cover that with dirt. Scrap piles that I made with little bits of metal and paint. The backdrop is pretty much done. I'm gonna cut out some roof details, vents, HVAC, whatnot, just to give that little extra detail. I've talked about that signal light in United Steel, so that when the car, there's a set of two cars, when it's backed in enough so that you can uncouple this car closest to the engine, that signal light turns red. So if I pull it out and clear that, there's an ISE, Iowa Scaled Engineering infrared sensor. It goes green, and I'm using that Dwarven fiber optics by Trains to light that signal. I scratch built the signal, so you back in and it'll go red once you hit that sensor. So we've got two industries. We've got United Steel and we've got the scrapyard, yet to be named. So that's it. There is enough room here to hold all the cars on the layout that will ultimately be switched, and two engines here at the end of the runaround, a Conrail Rapido and a CSX Atlas, both V5 decoders. Oh, and by the way, down here, just for fun while I'm working on the layout, I've got my railroad crossing, which comes from when I was living in upstate New York. Somebody had hit that with a car, and I think it was Susquehanna Railroad. So it was all smashed up. I took it home, rebuilt it with some piping, and repainted the signs. And I went to Radio Shack and built a little. This is decades ago. I built a little box that has an automotive blinker, the old school blinker, and a relay, and a DC transformer, and there you have it. So that's kind of a cool little feature. So I'm starting to get the layout room organized. I've fixed the overhead lighting in the garage so that this extension is now pretty bright, so the valance won't need to go over that area. So as I get things detailed, next up is going to be ground cover and the roads, and just general detail and weathering. I'm also going to go ahead and put these, I've talked about these in a prior video, I'm going to put these Rix Products turnout position indicators on all of my turnouts, just because I think it's the coolest thing. Now, I mean, you might argue that that's a little bit bigger than scale, but it goes red when it's straight, and it goes red when it's diverging or turning, and it's green when it's straight. So it's really functional because operationally there's quite a bit of switches, given that it's an industrial area, and then I've got the yard over here for CSX. So I want to have these position indicators in all the turnouts so that anyone operating will know which way the turnouts are set. And I do all hand throws like this. So I'm not putting tortoise switch machines, so I can't really power signals. I guess you could figure out some way to do it, but I kind of like these manual indicators. They work great. So I mean, highly recommend those Rix. I think they call them switch stands. So I'll have those on all of the turnouts. And I've got to paint the track and weather. Once I ballast it, I'll weather it. All the basic stuff. So there it is. A lot more to do, obviously, and I will keep you updated. So have a great Sunday evening and be healthy. Cheers.